guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we are doing a very fun holiday-themed Monster Mash. So yesterday was Thanksgiving, and I had a blast. I had my family over. We had a smoked turkey, which I made in my barbecue smoker, so that was fun. Had some stuffing, potatoes, you know, the whole shebang. And you know what? We have some Thanksgiving leftovers. So, you know, why don't we make a Monster Mash out of those leftovers? So today we are going to be mashing turkey with some iconic Thanksgiving foods. So I am currently live on Twitch, and they will be sending me some suggestions for what food and maybe one other animal that we're going to mash together today to make a new garden animal, gardanimal, whatever we called it. Basically a food animal. Foodaminal, and a food, I don't know. Edimals, I like that, edimals, that's it. We're gonna call them edimals. If it's a food animal, it's an edimal, but if it's grown out in a garden, it's gardanimal. But either way, we are gonna be combining this turkey with some tasty treats from Thanksgiving. Okay, so I'm going to have the Twitch chat send me a couple of different Thanksgiving themed foods. So we're gonna do 2 foods mixed with this turkey, and I'm really excited. So Twitch chat, go ahead and send me your Thanksgiving food suggestions. Okay, so the Twitch chat has voted. So for the first food, we have either a dinner roll, mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, deviled eggs, or cranberry/cranberry sauce. And what they voted for was pumpkin pie. Oh my gosh. All right, and the second food, we either had gravy, Red Lobster biscuits, kolaches, which is from Czechoslovakia, and I'm sorry if I totally butchered how you say it, I'm trying, butternut squash soup, or green bean casserole. So the results for that are Red Lobster biscuits. So we have the Cheddar Bay biscuits mixed with a pumpkin pie. This is gonna be interesting. So this thing is like almost consisting of like all bread and pumpkin-y goodness and cheese. That actually might be pretty good. Pumpkin and cheese would actually be pretty okay. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna do a couple sketches to figure out how the heck I'm gonna distribute this food across this turkey, and then we will jump in and get started. So for this part of the Monster Mash, I was trying to figure out which foods would work best for what textures on the turkey. I know there's a lot of feathers on the turkey, but I wanted to make sure to still get that fluffy, feathery look, but with food, if that makes sense. So I had to kind of brainstorm how I'd want to lay the different biscuits or like the parts of the pumpkin pie and kind of experiment with that to still give it that fluffy look, but make sure that you could tell that it was made out of food and it wasn't like a natural turkey fluff. Okay, so we are all done with the initial sketch, and I am really digging this. I am thinking about I'm just gonna run with this sketch, do the line art, do the color, because I think it looks so cute and this pose is adorable. So I think I'm just gonna run with how this looks. But to break it down for you guys, we have a pumpkin pie slice head with a dollop of whipped cream for his little gobbler thing, whatever that's called. And then I was thinking like a whipped cream neck, since it's the same texture as the gobbler. And then for the body, it's just made up of all those Cheddar Bay biscuits, just all the way through. And then for the wings, I was thinking it starts out with multiple layers of the crust, like in a pumpkin pie, and then the wings turn into more of like a nice orangey pumpkin pie color. And the big tail feathers will also be all slices of pumpkin pie, because why not? And then finally for the legs, we are going more for the pumpkin look, since pumpkin pie originates from a pumpkin. So it's gonna have the texture and look of a pumpkin, and its taloned feet are kind of like the stem of a pumpkin. So I'm really excited to get this started, so we're gonna go ahead and do the line art and the colors, so let's go ahead and get started. So for this part of the process, we first start out with the line art, which is just basically taking my Clean Comics line art pen brush in Photoshop and going around and doing a line art around everything. I also tried to kind of emulate the texture of the different foods during the line art phase as well. Like the color will be the most important part to distinct and differentiate the texture of the different foods, but I wanted to make sure that the line art also kind of conveyed it. So for example, the whipped cream kind of has this runny, like gloppy feeling, and then the biscuits are a little bit more poofy, and I wanted to have the same look as like the crust on the pumpkin pie there on the wings. So I thought the different texturing within the line art was important, but the most important thing will be when we jump into the colors. So this one was overall really fun to do and a really great challenge because I've actually been practicing like drawing food, like sketching it, because it's going to be a pretty important and key part in some work I'm doing coming up soon. So I wanted to make sure that I practice sketching it, but I haven't really sat down and really painted food yet. So this was a good, I guess, warm-up exercise for figuring out how to lay out and paint food. And it was also a blast trying to figure out where the different chunks of food were gonna go on this animal and kind of how to mix and match them and have them also work simultaneously and harmoniously. So with this one, there was a lot of tans and oranges just because obviously a Cheddar Bay biscuit is literally this tannish biscuit with orangey cheese on top, but it has a couple flecks of green on it, which I for sure wanted to utilize in this piece. Because with that, and then the pumpkin pie, we just have a lot of oranges and browns and really warm and earthy colors. So I first started out by laying out a base layer of all the different colors that I wanted present in the piece. There was the gray for the whipped cream. I wanted to start with that instead of the white and then add in the white. And then we did a light tan for the biscuits, a kind of earthy orange for the pumpkin pie areas, and then a brighter orange for where I just wanted the pumpkin texture. And then we went in and cleaned it up. I also added the coloring for the crust specifically for the pumpkin pie area and the crust on the wing. And then recently I've been trying a slightly new coloring technique when I layer on different colors. So what I used to do is have mostly the shading in a later layer with a multiply on top of it and choosing one color, which I still did in this, but specifically I wanted to try kind of building up the layers in colors along with thinking about shading at the same time. So for the biscuits, I saw in the original reference picture, it has like the darker brown areas for shading, but I wanted to do that within the biscuit on top of the same layer, if that makes sense. So I tried building the different values and look to try to convey as best as I could what this food was. I also did that with the whipped cream. I just built up different layers of the whites and added in a little bit of a darker gray. That one was a little hard because it kind of looked like candle wax, and it was really hard to make sure it looked like whipped cream. Since it's not really a typical place for whipped cream, I think we don't really have any context clues to be like, oh yeah, for sure, that's whipped cream. But I think the dollop on top of the pie head of the turkey probably helps convey at least a little bit that it is whipped cream. So after going through and building up the different colors and tones within the pumpkin pie and the biscuits, I went back in and added some highlights and went over everything with kind of a nice earthy red shadow. I thought that would look really nice and complement the warm feeling of this piece overall. Alright guys, we are all done with this edible animal, and I absolutely love how it turned out. I liked the combination of the pumpkin pie and the Cheddar Bay biscuits. I thought it was a really nice color palette. It's all very warm and brown, and I love it. It looks really cool. I'm actually really happy with it. And this animal would probably taste pretty dang good if you ask me. But either way, thank you guys so much for stopping by and checking out this video. And if you aren't already, you can go and hit that subscribe button. I have new videos every week. And if you would like to participate in any other future Monster Mashes, whether it's edible animals, garden animals, or just a normal Monster Mash, make sure to follow me at twitch.tv/KMcCaigue. So thanks again guys for stopping by, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye everybody.